to Miami.
What it do, YouTube? It's that time of week again. And honestly, this video wasn't going to have any Miami Dolphins news in it. So I was like, damn, I literally thought about that the last minute, right when I was about to start recording this video. And I was like, man, I ain't got no Miami Dolphins. So I just took a little quick peek at my Bleacher Report. I highly recommend y'all download it. Very descriptive. And I looked at it. First headline I saw. Greg Jennings feels that Ryan Tannehill is babied by the coaching staff. Pause. Me, I got to come out and defend my quarterback. I can tell you, every time somebody criticizes my quarterback, I'm coming out to defend my quarterback. So basically, Greg Jennings was put in an interview, and the interviewer asked him, "Do you think that Ryan Tannehill could take the Miami Dolphins to the promised land?" So. And I'm quoting this. I am going to quote this exactly the way Greg Jennings said it. And I quote, "I don't think anyone knows yet. I really don't," Jennings said. "He's been kind of babied. And I don't mean that in a bad way for him. He has the work ethic and the desire to be great. He just hasn't been given the rein to where he has the liberty and freedom to call the shots sometimes. It's almost like taking a baby, and he's 6 years old and no longer a baby, and he still has a bottle in his mouth. You got to take it out and see if he can drink out of the cup." Okay, I feel two different ways about this. I really feel two different ways about this. Now, the upside to this, at least Greg Jennings tried to keep it as political as possible. He didn't want to sneak this Ryan Tannehill or anything, but Greg Jennings is kind of right, considering how there were reports coming out of Miami during the season saying that Bill Lazor did not give Ryan Tannehill the option to audible out of plays. Basically, Ryan Tannehill gets sent in the huddle with one play, and he was forced to run that run play. No matter what the defense is giving him, he's forced to do that one play. No matter if it's good or if positive or negative yard play, he was forced to do that play. Now, here's the other thing. I think Greg Jennings could have used a better choice of words. Honestly, baby, come on now. In my honest opinion, the words he should have used was, "I feel that," and this is coming from me, that Ryan Tannehill hasn't been given the opportunity to be independent as the Miami Dolphins quarterback. Something around the lines of that. In my honest opinion, that's how he should have said it. But that's something that we already knew. That is something that we already knew. Ryan Tannehill isn't exactly being treated like every other quarterback in the league. Well, considering the offense that they're running is basically just the duplication of the Chip Kelly offense, where they don't audible or anything. They just set into the huddle with that one play, and they're forced to run that one play. But hey, that's my Miami Dolphins news of the week. You know, I couldn't tell it like it is without some Miami Dolphins news. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. All right, so basically we're gonna talk about the Hall of Fame real fast. We're gonna talk about the Hall of Fame, and I really put some thought into it. And it has to do with Mike Martz and T.O. If you remember Mike Martz, he used to be the head coach of the St. Louis Rams from 2005, I believe, to 2007. Like, I might have to look at that again. So basically, he went on a radio show and went out and said that considering how Terrell Owens is about to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, basically he's in the top 15 for the picks coming out on Saturday. So they're going to decide who exactly is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame or not. But he feels that Terrell Owens doesn't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He will put Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt over Terrell Owens. Now, I went and took the liberty and actually look at the stats here, and I will do the honors and read them to you. Now, Terrell Owens is second in receiving yards with 15,934 receiving yards. Third in touchdowns with 153, sixth in receptions for 1,078. So basically, receiving yards and touchdowns, he's in the top 5. Receptions, he just missed it. He just basically just missed it. Isaac Bruce, 4th in receiving yards, 12th in touchdowns, 9th in receptions. Not gonna work. He's nowhere near. He's not even touching T.O. He's not even touching T.O. Torrey Holt, 14th in receiving yards, 33rd in touchdowns, and 19th in receptions. Like, basically, honestly, the only wide receiver that can be put in that conversation to be better than T.O. is Randy Moss. And Randy Moss was 3rd in receiving yards and 2nd in touchdowns, but 14th in receptions. But in T.O.'s defense, honestly, T.O. was put in the top 10 for all 3 of those categories. And honestly, using the eye test, me growing up watching T.O. and Randy Moss, I was more of a T.O. fan anyway, because T.O. could do it all. T.O. could block. Like, T.O. had the speed to beat you down the field, so you had to have a safety over the top at all times. You couldn't press T.O. because T.O. was 226 pounds of muscle. That was a man right there. He was a man. He was moving cornerbacks out the way, so you couldn't, like I said, you couldn't press him. So what could you do? Now, Randy Moss, on the other hand, Randy Moss, he just had that speed. Like, the freak of nature, man, could jump up at the highest point and just snag it out the air with that jump ball. That's how the whole signature Moss thing came about. But as far as Randy Moss goes, like, Randy Moss ain't do what T.O. did. T.O., you can go to T.O. on 1st, 2nd, 3rd down, cross the middle, deep, anything that you wanted to do, because T.O. could do it. T.O. could do it. Just using the eye test, T.O. was just the most exciting wide receiver to watch, because of the fact that if you try to single tackle T.O. was breaking that tackle 99.9% of the time. Period. Randy Moss, on the other, like, Randy Moss was nice, is exciting to watch too, but watching T.O. break tackles the way he did and taking a touchdown the distance, that was the most exciting thing to sit back and watch. So for Mike Marks to sit back and say that about T.O. not being the first ballot Hall of Famer, you might want to sit back and look at that, because, hey, like I said, the receiving yards, touchdowns, and receptions are all in the top 10. All in the top 10. And not to mention, every single team that Terrell Owens has played for has been a 500 team. Every single team. And he played for the San Francisco 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals, Dallas Cowboys, and Buffalo Bills. All have been 500 teams. Actually, take that back. One team, the Buffalo Bills, wasn't 500. I think they went like 6-10 or something like that. I gotta look it up again. But T.O. has played with a whole bunch of different quarterbacks, and the reason why I don't put Randy Moss over T.O. is because when Randy Moss ended up going to the Raiders, Randy Moss played for the Vikings, the Raiders, and had a historic season with the Patriots, and then went to back to the Vikings. So four teams for him. Thing is with Randy Moss, like, his stats just weren't there when it came to him playing with a mediocre quarterback, in my honest opinion. T.O. brought it. T.O. literally brought it. Every single play. Literally every single play. Short, deep, mid-range, didn't matter. He bought it. Now, I'm playing with the Chiefs. I'm not the Chiefs. I'm playing with the Browns here. You knew exactly where I was going with this. Next story, I got covered Johnny Manziel. Like, just the whole story just breaking out the way that it did. Like, I just had to go over it. Like, the fact that Johnny Manziel is in my honest opinion, he's just like a duplicate of Tim Tebow as far as the hype train, as far as him coming out of the draft. I felt like he just got drafted too early. He just was not an NFL ready quarterback. Let's just get that covered, number one. But as far as what I've seen this season, he has taken strides to actually becoming a great quarterback. He's really taking strides of becoming a great quarterback. And hey, I'm sorry to say, but his career is over. I'm sorry, but in case you did not know, he got into an altercation with his girlfriend, and I'll put down a little brief summary about what exactly happened. Basically, he was staying at a hotel in Texas, and his ex-girlfriend, he was dating her for 2 years, and they were living together for 4 months, whatever. And basically, she was bar hopping with her friends, and then she ended up meeting Johnny Manziel at his hotel, sorry. And they got into an argument about another girl, and somehow Johnny did not let her leave her or something like that, and somehow the argument went down to the valet area, parking area, and she's screaming for help to the valet. The valet doesn't know what he's doing, so Johnny Manziel basically puts her in his car. So they drive about a half a mile. And she gets out the car and she tries to go hide from Johnny. Johnny was looking around for her, basically grabs her by her hair and starts smacking her or whatever, and then just ends up putting her back in the car. Puts her back in the car. So she's saying all this stuff, saying, "Hey Johnny, I hate you," and he's like, he's going to take her car. He's going to take her car and kill himself. And she said, and she's basically saying, "I love you." He told her to shut up. Or I'll kill us both. Now I want to pause the story right there. I just to give y'all like a quick education right here, especially on Johnny Manziel's part. Like, you are a NFL star. You are an NFL star. You could basically have any girl that you want. This is me telling you like it is. Me telling you, you can have any star. You can have any girl you want in the world because you are a star in the NFL. You are possibly one of the most popular NFL players in the NFL right now. You can have any girl you want. I know she looks good. I looked at her pictures on Google. I know she looks good. But hey, don't have no chick drive you crazy. That's for everyone. That is everyone. Don't let no chick ever do that for you. Don't ever do that. But moving on. Now they get to his ex-girlfriend's apartment, and she grabs a knife. So she starts like going towards Johnny with the knife, and Johnny runs off. So now, as soon as he runs off, she looks out the window in the parking lot, and she sees him sitting in the parking lot. So she runs to her neighbor's door and starts banging on the door, screaming for help. And then, of course, 911 was called, and Johnny Manziel fled on foot. So, like, the way I'm sitting back and look at it, like, it's like you can't get any dumber if you're Johnny Manziel. I know if he's done some crazy things over the years. I can't exactly remember what exactly happened in college, what made him get in trouble for that. I think it was something about jersey sales or something like that. But yeah, I know he got checked in for rehab for drinking. He was at parties. They were taking pictures and videos and stuff at bars and clubs and stuff like that. But he had an opportunity to play for a different NFL team if this did not happen. This right here, you're getting charged with assault here. You're getting charged with assault, and it's like, if you did not learn anything from this Ray Rice situation, they are having a huge microscope over the NFL right now just for stuff like this. Like that's just a dumb move of Johnny Manziel. You was about to revive your career going to a different team, because I know the Browns are terrible. I'm playing with them right now. I know they're terrible. But you had an opportunity to revive your career. And like, to make matters worse, even his agent feels that he's a lost cause. He dropped it from his agency. Was it Thursday morning? He dropped it from his agency Thursday morning. So you know he has no faith. I feel bad if I was Johnny, because his daddy just basically threw him under the bus and was like, "Hey, I want Johnny to be better for his 24th birthday." So he's not even. He's a little bit younger than me. He's literally just a little bit younger than me. But yeah, I just felt like I had a need to cover that real fast. But the moral of the story is, like, don't have a girl sit back and drive you crazy like that. Don't, like, I know he had to be in love, but just don't do that. It's just not, it doesn't end well. It really does not end well. But you know, I gotta finish telling like it is with my Super Bowl prediction. Now we got the Carolina Panthers and Denver Broncos. Now, if we date back about 3 years ago, Denver Broncos were setting touchdown records. Peyton Manning threw 52 touchdown passes. That was the NFL record right there. Ended up going to the Super Bowl facing the Seattle Seahawks and ended up getting blown out to the Seattle Seahawks. I don't even think did they score? Good job by the offense. I think he threw like three interceptions or something like that. But that offense was completely shut down. Now, when I sit back and look at the Carolina Panthers defense, it's almost the exact replica of that Seattle Seahawks defense. Almost the exact replica. It runs the same cover 3 defense. It has great pass rushers and great sideline to sideline linebackers. Just almost the exact same. So the way I sit back and look at it, like, Peyton Manning is not the same Peyton Manning that you saw 2 or 3 years ago. Peyton Manning this year has thrown over only 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. And you got to think about it. And just playing in the playoffs, as far as the Denver Broncos, they haven't really played anybody with a great defense. So with that said, again, Peyton Manning is not looking like that same Peyton Manning that you saw 2 or 3 years ago. So basically what I've observed from Peyton Manning this year, all he does is throw them short dimp and dunk passes, and like he has not been accurate throwing the ball deep. So he struggled throwing the ball deep. So honestly, he will be relying heavily on the running game, but the Carolina Panthers will be a good job of stuffing that up. But hey, don't get me wrong, the Denver Broncos have a good defense as well, but when it comes down to it, defenses are going to cancel each other out, and it all comes down to who has the better offense. Now, if you look at the Carolina Panthers offense, they have, like, I hate to say it, but Ted Ginn Jr., he's an extreme dynamic in this game, considering how he can stretch the field. You have to put a safety over the top at all times. Then you have Greg Olsen going across the middle and him doing his work, and then you basically have the fear of Cam Newton scrambling out the pocket and making plays with his feet. So you're gonna have that's a whole bunch of things you got to take into account for as far if you're the Denver Broncos. Now, looking at it, the Denver Broncos is gonna have to send a lot of pressure. But final score, I think I am going to go with my magic numbers again. 24-10. I hopefully it's not going to be a blowout game. I pray that it's not going to be a blowout game, because honestly, that Denver Broncos and Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl had to be the worst Super Bowl of all time. I want it to go down in crunch time. But I feel that it's going to be a blowout. But I want it to go down in crunch time to be like I want somebody to score a last second touchdown, but I'm going with Carolina though. I'm going with Carolina 24-27. I'm going with Carolina 24-27. But you know what it is. Any questions, hit the comment box. Criticism as well. I know everybody got at least one little disagreement to anything that I said today. But you know what it is. Hit the comment box. Make sure you guys definitely subscribe. This is Great One Devore. I'm up out of here.